Hey everyone. Oh, this is a hard video to make. I had to euthanize my 15-year-old Papillon mix, Lucy. She had congestive heart failure, and by the time I caught it, it was late stage. She had mitral valve disease, pulmonary edema. She had an enlarged heart. She had been coughing for several months. And at first I thought, well, maybe she needs a bordetella. Maybe she has kennel cough. No, wasn't kennel cough. She had very long fur that she would groom daily. And so part of me thought, like long-haired cats, maybe she was coughing a little bit because of a hairball, when she grooms herself. And it wouldn't happen every day. It's just once in a while she would cough. I mention that because it's for your benefit. That was the first sign, and I missed it. If I had caught it early on, I would have been able to give her medication to stop the progression of the congestive heart failure. It happened in January of this year when Lucy collapsed. She actually wasn't running around like a wild woman. I mean, she was 15 years old. Now, she would every once in a while get the zoomies, but on this particular day, she was just walking down the hallway and seemed to collapse. And my little terrier rescue dog here, Barkley, he's 6 now. He ran to her aid. And of course, they're both looking at me. You'll see it when I post the reel, like she needs help. Well, okay, Miss Lucy. I knew then, because Lucy she's a very feisty, courageous, spirited, outgoing dog. And for her to collapse in the hallway definitely was my sign that something was seriously wrong. I took her to the veterinarian, and I told them on the phone when I made the appointment that I wanted an x-ray because I had done some research on Google. I do not have a medical background. I'm sure many of you also look things up on Google that have to do with health or your animals. And it had said that x-rays can often show if there's fluid in the lungs, fluid around the heart, an enlarged heart, that sort of thing. So we got the appointment.
What's your first name?
And it did show that she had a very enlarged heart, fluid in the lungs, fluid in her abdomen, and then they could tell by using a stethoscope that she had mitral valve disease. The veterinarian had told me she really didn't have a long life expectancy, that they could give me 3 different medications. One would help get the fluid under control. The other would help her heart pump easier. And the other one, I believe, was another heart medication that helped keep her blood pressure down somewhat. But the medications would not prolong her life. There was no hope. So they sent me home with the medications, and the decision was left to me when I felt comfortable that I wanted to schedule euthanasia. I couldn't do it right away. I wasn't ready to let her go. I wanted Lucy to be comfortable. I wanted her to be at home. And so I scheduled that, and unfortunately, the euthanasia did not go quite as planned. It happened, but there were some challenges. I'm going to go into that in a separate video about her euthanasia, only because I want this video to help other pet parents learn the signs of congestive heart failure in dogs, particularly little dogs, which seem to be very spirited. You know, little dogs, they kind of run around, and even when they're 15 years old, like my Lucy, they don't always show their age. You know, they get peppy, they have little bursts of energy. And this is part of why I think it took me so long to realize she had a very serious health condition. If your dog shows signs of coughing and there's no kennel cough, you know, you take the dog to the vet and they say, well, no, she doesn't have kennel cough, or you have the kennel cough vaccine, you might want to have them listen to her heart and maybe take an x-ray to see if there's any heart enlargement or any problem. I know some veterinary clinics really prefer to do more expensive heart tests. I know some of them use ultrasound. Now, an x-ray cannot pick up mitral valve disease. That's something that either has to be on ultrasound or the veterinarian hears it through the stethoscope. Panting, excessive panting. If your dog is at rest and the dog is panting, that's a sign of congestive heart failure. Your dog doesn't want to play, doesn't want to go for walks as much as your dog used to. That's another sign that there is something seriously wrong. Swelling of the abdomen, or you notice that your pet has gained more weight and it's an older pet and you're wondering, okay, I haven't fed more than usual and yet my pet looks like it has gained weight. That can be another sign of fluid retention, not just for congestive heart failure, but many other serious diseases. You know, collapsing, if the dog collapses, whether it's running or very active, or if it just suddenly collapses while walking down the hall. On this particular day, she just suddenly was panting wildly and looked very wild-eyed, and she was racing from room to room, but then would race up to me and claw at my pant leg, like in a frenzy. She's having a serious problem, and because I've owned many dogs, cats, different animals throughout my life, I just knew that there was something seriously wrong. I hope this video was helpful. I hope it helps you notice signs in your dogs if they have congestive heart failure. Thank you so much for watching.